So, hello, my name is Stefan Tompson, and this is a series of podcasts about the three Cs with experts from each of the three Cs members' countries. And we're here for the Institute of New Europe. And today, my guest is Karel Sal from Czechia. Karel, maybe we could begin with a small introduction about yourself, the think tank you work with, and some of the work that you do.
Hi, I'm Karel Sal, as you hear, and I'm from Institute of Politics and Society from Prague. We are based political think tank, which is close to ANO party. It's a liberal think tank, and we are looking for for analysis, especially of Czech policies. Yeah. And today topic is about Free Seas Policy initiative, and the position of Czech Republic is heavy influence by Czech domestic politics. So Czech Republic has only one project listed in official projects of Free Seas initiative, and it's this huge project of Danube Oder Elbe interconnection, which is waterworks. But a very huge project, I think about maybe 30 billion euros. Very huge, big deal. But right now, after the change of government, because former government of Andrej Babiš and ANO party was favorable for this project, but today's coalition led by Civic Democracy and Peter Fiala is not that open for this option, and I think this project is now frozen and maybe stop at all. Yeah, because all measures was lifted, especially for developing in areas where should be done. This project can be built. Yeah, and I think this project is now over. So Czech Republic is now in state that we are looking for other opportunities in this huge big project, and we are looking for more projects, especially in energetic area, and especially for gas pipelines and energy interconnections with other countries, like with Poland, like with Germany, and especially with Austria. And this first project, which can be considered like some continuing efforts for cooperation in Free Seas initiative, can be this interconnection between Poland and Czech Republic in Silesia region, called Stork 2, which is interconnections by gas pipeline between Polish and Czech Republics. So we are looking for some shifting and change of narrative, because first narrative was let's spend others' money for our biggest projects, and now let's save our economy and our gas dependency from Russia. Yeah. So
That's quite the shift, Karel.
this is the way we are thinking right now. But the challenges from Russian-Ukrainian war are so big and so intense and so hurry up that we are not prepared right now to we haven't prepared a lot of other options, so we need we in this time we are rushing for other projects. We are not clear which way we should go. I think that this is the real position of Czech government. We are looking for solutions, quick solutions, but there are no good solutions in quick way in this area, especially in those long-term projects like gas pipelines, interconnections, and etc. etc.
Just to take a step back, what is the just to like get an outline of the current situation of the Czech Republic? Um, the main trading partners, the main dependencies. If you could outline that, you've started touching on all of those issues, but you've addressed it to an audience that
Yeah.
already has an understanding of the region. So maybe if we could take a little step back and just give an overview. It doesn't have to be too in depth, but just a general overview to understand what the main who the main stakeholders are and what the main stakes at play here are.
There are three fields here: electricity, gas, and oil. Yeah, this in electricity, Czech Republic is completely sustainable. Yeah, and we are making more energy than we consume. So we are. This is the comfortable position, and that's not problem in the eyes of Czech government, of Czech population. But the biggest one is gas dependency and gas dependency on Russia and this eastern connection with Russia, because Czech Republic has no other options where to obtain the gas than in Russia in big amount. So we are looking for other interconnections. Before the war, there is no such big deal because the price for building new interconnections was pretty high, and it's not reasonable to make some was making some other interconnections because Russian gas was available and cheap. Yeah, and oil is not that much problem, but we are looking for making bigger capacities with connection with Italia through the Austria. So we are looking for tall alpine to make more capacity for it, but you must build it, and it's not a question of months, it's a question of years, I think, right now. So the biggest issue is gas,
Indeed.
and how obtain gas in amount, and especially for price we can allow.
Sure, sure. Completely understood. And now, what's the sort of what are, if we could also take a level back away from energy, but also just more
Mhm.
broadly, just the cooperation. Um, so the three Cs format is a format, obviously, of EU member states. So every single country in the three Cs is a member of the European Union. This is a very important part of what the three Cs project is. So it's a project within the European Union. What is the sort of the relations between Czechia and these other three Cs member states? Where are the most important relationships? Where are the closest economic ties? Obviously, for example, an important aspect is Czechia is very connected with Germany, being a major
Yeah.
supplier of automobile parts, for example, right? That's a fairly well known fact. But where are the other economic ties and relations?
Oh, there. Czech Republic is very, as you mentioned, is very interconnected with Germany. We like one of the Bundesland, yeah, one,
That's a
basically
controversial
speaking.
take.
Yeah, this is a kind of ratio, but in economic, this is it's fact, right? Yeah, but because everything is influenced by politics, and our second biggest economic partner is Poland. Yeah,
Sure.
but we haven't. But our relations was not good in past years, and everything is influenced by Turów mine dispute. This is dispute between Czech Republic and Poland about this brown coal mine right behind the border of the Czech Republic. Locals haven't enough of water because of very deep mining, and and the relations between governments, especially between government of Andrej Babiš and Morawiecki's government, wasn't good. These relations can be subscribed as cold, yeah, friendly but cold. And after government change last October 2021, which because elections was held in Czech Republic, and the right center coalition led by Petr Fiala was made, and the cooperation with Polish side was better, and the deal was set about tour of mine, and now we are looking for more cooperation with Poland. But problem is, as I mentioned, this interconnection between Czech Republic and Poland. But we are looking for other opportunities, especially in Austria, which is part of Free Seas Initiative too, and especially in Slovakia. But the relation between Czech Republic and Slovakia are special because of
Indeed,
their
of course.
common history. Yeah.
Sure, sure. So going forward, so now that we have a little bit of the background, Czechia in some ways one could say perhaps was a little bit cautious towards the three Cs. It's obviously a member of the initiative, but definitely not a very, perhaps maybe the right word is not a very involved one, right? So what could be done to encourage the Czech Republic to want to become a bigger player in this initiative?
I think the problem is the picture of this initiative in Czech Republic,
Okay,
because it's often in media is called as a Polish project to be much bigger.
I
Yeah,
see.
and this is all in political issue, because we stepped down in tour of mine yeah, and now we should be more cooperative in this Polish initiative, and it's not good in Czech domestic politics be good to your neighbors. So I think it's not some economic issues or something like that. It's based only on this political connections and political setup in Czech Republic. And there is other important factor, and this is Germany, because Germany is not amused by Free Seas Initiative at all. I think because in some eyes, and especially of some captains of German industry, this initiative can be like, I don't know, can be described as uh, opponent for there's interest, or something what can be dangerous for their interest. So there's big pressure from Germany in Czech Republic, especially, to be much more observer than the real player. And as you see that Czech Republic has only one project listed in the official project of Free
Sure.
Seas Initiative, and this project is no longer can be viable. So I think can be described like this way.
That's very interesting what you say, and very interesting to hear that that's how it's perceived in by the public. What role? So if we look at it, I mean, from your position, from the perspective of an expert, what role do you think Poland should actually play in the project? I mean, bearing in mind that obviously Poland it's the largest country by population, it's the biggest economy of the 12 countries. Um, so in that sense, I'm not saying that Poland is the leader, because it's an ally, it's a willing initiative of willing cooperating members who basically are all equals within the initiative, right? But there is an economic imbalance in the sense that Warsaw is, and the Polish population is larger than the rest. So from the Czech perspective, from your perspective, what role would you like to see Poland play? Or more importantly, what role would you like Poland to not play?
This is an interesting question. Our position of Czech Republic, or role of Czech Republic right now, is control position, because we are member of this financial fund, and Czech members are in the control board. So now we are controlling something, we are not cooperating much. So I think position of Czech Republic in this Free Seas initiative should be to be this mind bridge between the old Europe and new Europe, like eastern part of EU, because the similar member of this initiative, Austria, is has a similar role. Yeah, to be assuring that you can connect this Middle Eastern project to the other parts of EU. So I think we should be like, I don't know, in diplomatic way, and making a PR for this project, and to be sure that it's no cooperation, there is no battle between old and new EU. uh, it's about the centralization, and making more opportunities for everybody. And after this Russian-Ukrainian war, this question is more and more important: how to make EU less dependable on Russia, and without its eastern wing, it cannot be done. So we should be more pro-European orientated, more pro interconnection making orientated, and more pro investation, making invest money from other parts of world than Brussels money. Yeah, we should attract other investors from, example, US, even from other areas, like Persian Gulf or something. Yeah, we should make this initiative more global, and show that it's huge thing which can be really revolutionary for this part of Europe. Yes, I think this is the position what Czech Republic should do. Made this initiative be more global, more interconnected with other part of the world.
And tell me, Karel, when you look at, I mean, obviously there's the greatest change in the last year has obviously been Russian aggression on Ukraine. And suddenly here we are. The three C's. These are mostly countries that are the eastern flank of NATO. This is the EU's eastern border. We're neighbors to Ukraine. Multiple three C's member states have a land border with our Ukrainian neighbors and allies. How has the Russian invasion of Ukraine shifted the perception? Because as you've pointed out, the conflict over Turów, and this is something that I've seen a lot in Polish media. There's been that it really has been an issue has really actually been a little bit of a thorn in our side. It's kind of really impacted our relations. How has, from the Czech perspective, how have the events of the last few months, the Russian invasion in particular, how has that impacted your relations with Poland, and conversely with the rest of the region, right?
Yeah, this war was huge impact, and exactly on Czech Polish interconnection and relations, because our neighbor fight about this Turov, it's now gone, because Czech Republic stepped down, and now we can looking for better cooperation. Yeah, and the Fiala's government is more oriented pro-Polish than pro-Hungarian, as was the former government of Andrej Babiš. So the relations are better, but we are uh, we are now in the critical time, because the scarcity of energy and energy supplying can be very I don't know how to call it, a very interesting problem, because when you haven't enough of gas and oil, that this nationalism and this looking for solution for your own can be a problem for your relations. So I can say we should be more cooperative in this field, because situation is hard but can be harder. And after that we can see that relations can be between our nation. Yeah, do you understand me? So it can be very tricky. Our relations are now good, better than in the past, but the real problem can emerge, and we must looking for solution. And solution is not nationalism in energy, and looking for solutions only for us, but a solution for another states too. So I think we didn't reach the breaking point yet. Can be I think it can be in few months, because the war is intensifying, especially in these energy areas, and we will see how good relations are between these states. So we can say unity is best, but when cold and need knock your door, so will you will see who will be your friend in those times.
As you say, this is unfortunately just the beginning, potentially, especially with winter coming, and the weaponization of energy by Russia being a very serious threat to all of us, especially to those countries that have had a fair amount of dependency on Russian gas. Um, one of the interesting shifts has also been, of course, as you mentioned, the fall of the Babiš government and the replacement with the Fiala government. Prime Minister Fiala, Prime Minister Morawiecki from Poland, and Prime Minister Janša from Slovenia were the first leaders to go to Kiev and to visit President Zelensky. So that was a kind of an interesting shift, especially after that Turów conflict, to have the Czech Prime Minister travel with the Polish Prime Minister and the Slovenian Prime Minister, of course. The other shift is, and it's quite a major one, is within the three Cs. There's another format, the Visegrad Four, and within that format we have Hungary. What are some of the shifts in relations that have occurred in the last few months, years, in the Czech-Hungarian relationship?
Like I said, it's much colder than before, but it's not because of some problems between Hungarian and Czech state, but because of personal friendship between the prime ministers. Because former Prime Minister Babiš was great friend of Orban and his administrative, and those times are over. And now Petr Fiala, which is a leader of this, which is conservative. He is very conservative, orientated, right wing, not liberal, not a liberal politician. So he is more Polish orientated. He is favorable by those conservative governments. For example, Petr Fiala was only of few European prime ministers who welcomed the winning of Italian new prime minister. Yeah, this right wing prime minister, female prime minister. And I think this is the reason that the relations between Hungary and Czech Republic, it's not that friendly right now. But it's not very big shift in V4 because there are two couples in V4. Yeah, there is Polish Hungarian couple and Czech Slovakian couple, and these two couples has own relations between others, but those couples are basically the same. So I think it's not that good like before, but nothing change in I don't know in the way we can describe it or something. It's more rhetoric or media thing than a real thing.
Sure. And finally, what are some? So you mentioned one of the projects, one of the official Three Cs projects that involves the Czech Republic. What are some other projects that could potentially be exciting for the Czech Republic from an infrastructural or digitization point of view? Is there anything else that the Czechs perhaps would like to add to the Three Cs initiative?
I think biggest issue for especially for Czechs are lacking infrastructure between Czechs and Austria, and it's very needy because we have no highway between us and Austria. After 30 years after fall of communism, we have a highway bet- between Prague and Linec and between Brno and Wien. Yeah, and it's just such a pity. It's such a mess. So we should invest our money, especially for those connections first. And second problem, which is highly mediated in Czech Republic, is lacking interconnections by train between
Sure.
Czech Republic, Germany, and Austria. So trains from Berlin are going through Germany and Austria to Wien, not through the Czech Republic, but through whole way to Germany and Austria because it's quicker. Yeah, and this is such a shame and such a big political issue. So I think Czech Republic should join for those big project, especially for own projects to be more interconnected with others because as you can see 30 years wasn't enough for making such viable interconnection between us and our neighbors. So I think this is the biggest issue in Czech Republic right now.
As a counterpoint, a lot has been achieved in 30 years, though.
Yeah, yeah, not that much like in Poland, because in Poland was made, I don't know, hundreds kilometers of new highways, and
That
Czech
is true.
Republic, and we are jealous. We are really jealous, and
I mean, come on. Look. I mean, the just in terms of numbers, the transformation, the post-communist transformation has been a every single inhabitant, actually not maybe not every single one, but on average, every single inhabitant of Central and Eastern Europe has done better following the fall of communism than beforehand. And something that I discussed at length with one of the other people that I spoke with from the region was that our generation, I mean, we're clearly a similar age, our generation is going to be better off than the generation of our parents and our grandparents. Whereas in Western Europe, people our age, millennials, are going to be worse off than their parents and considerably worse off than their grandparents. So there is this sense of optimism and of hope and of us going somewhere and of the region having a sense of purpose of we're catching up to the West and that should fill us with a lot of hope. And yes, obviously we can complain that not enough was done in the past 30 years. But if the past 30 years are any metric to go by, the next 30 years, if they're even half as good as the last 30, we will be you will have many highways, Carl, in
yeah,
the Czech Republic.
that's true. That's true because we are looking for future with with big promises. Yeah, because lots of things can be done and better be done in Czech Republic, and everything depends on our domestic policy
Sure,
and how our governments can be cooperable and not that nationalistic oriented.
sure.
And that's all we should looking for other opportunities to be cooperation in these areas, because there are more opportunities than on western parts of EU, I think.
Absolutely. Of course, as you pointed out, going beyond, and I think that the Three Seas Investment Fund certainly can be a vehicle to raise money from many other places, including, as you pointed out, the Arabian Peninsula, including the United States of America, but perhaps even other places like Singapore, like Southeast Asia. I mean, there is money in a lot of places, and the region is still, on average, provides a better return on investment than many other places of the world. I mean, we are still a high growth, despite obviously the previous two tragedies are on one hand of the economic slowdown caused by COVID-19, and on the second hand the geopolitical crisis and the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. But aside from that, we still remain a good place for players to invest and put their money. So I definitely think that there's a lot of scope for growth. I also think my conversation with you, I do also think that one of the things that characterizes us and that links up all Central and Eastern Europeans is we are quite pessimistic by nature. I think I sense when you talk about the Czech Republic, instead of thinking to yourself, hey, we've done a huge amount over 30 years, you go, we haven't built enough highways. You know, that sense of self criticism. Um, that is something that's very Central and Eastern European, right?
This is way of life of what we living, because you expect the worst and you can be good surprised. Yeah.
Management of expectations.
But everything was said is dependable how the Russian Ukrainian conflict will be done. So our goal, because nobody invest for our projects when war will going on right behind the border.
Absolutely.
So our interest of all member states is quick win of Ukraine in Russian-Ukrainian war and stabilization in situation in Russia. And
Absolutely.
this is the biggest issue right now, and we will see how to be can be done, and how can be a part of the Ukrainian victory as well.
Yeah, actually, thank you for highlighting that, because, as you say, all of the rest of the discussion at the end of the day is fairly meaningless unless we have a victory for Ukraine and well, I mean, hopefully some form of restructuring, complete and utter restructuring of Russia, um, because the region is remains at a massive risk if we have a rogue empire, who's willing to breach all international laws and just come in and essentially occupy, annex, destroy, murder, kill, plunder. Yeah, Karel, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Also, thank you for a very amusing discussion. It's you've been a very entertaining person to speak with. So thank you for that. And yeah, all the best with your future work.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, and it was very very good. I thank you
Thank you.
for invitation for this project.